My name's Ulrika Donahue, and I'm a Ludlow resident and a parent of a first grader at Ludlow Elementary School. And I'm also involved with the Black River Independent School Committee, who's been laying the groundwork, hopefully, for a potential independent school in Ludlow. And we wanted to talk to you today about the upcoming vote. Before we do that, Marissa wants to introduce herself.
I'm Marissa Selleck. I was born and raised in Ludlow. I graduated from Black River in 2004. Took a couple years off and went to college and graduated and came back, and I've been back in Ludlow for about 8 years now. And I've recently gotten involved in the Black River Independent School Committee. So we just wanted to share some information and updates.
As hopefully many of you will be aware, there will be a vote on February 6th in Ludlow at the town hall, which will be a revote of the merger vote that already happened in November of last year. And that vote was regarding a potential merger under Act 46 between the school districts of Mount Holly and Ludlow. And as a result of that vote, which was fairly decisive in Ludlow, about 2/3 of the voters voted for this merger and 1/3 against it. There was a petition because some voters felt that some of the information out there was confusing, that the way the articles were written was confusing, and so they wanted a chance to revote, to reconsider the article. And so we wanted to just explain today a few of the facts about what yes means and what no means, and then touch on some of the more speculative consequences. Because there are some things that are definites that will happen with either a yes vote, and then there are other things that could potentially happen but are not necessarily certain. So let me start with the yes vote. If the vote is yes again, so the majority votes yes on this merger, then one certain outcome of that yes vote would be that Black River High School, middle and high school, will close as a public school no later than June of 2020. As of that point, the other fact is, as of that point when the school closes as a public school, students in grades 7 through 12 will have school choice. So that means that they can attend any public or approved independent school in the state of Vermont, and potentially even beyond. And so examples of schools would be Green Mountain High School, Mill River, Burn-Burton Academy, and a potential independent school in the town of Ludlow. Also, a fact of a yes vote, so a certain outcome of a yes vote, would be that a Black River Academy, an independent Black River Academy, will be feasible. That doesn't mean it will happen, but it makes it possible. A no vote would not make it possible at this point. So let me speak to the no vote then. With a no vote, Black River High School, middle and high school, will remain open as a public school for now. The no vote also means, though, that there will be significant financial implications for not only the high school but also the elementary schools, both the Ludlow and the Mount Holly elementary schools. They will lose what's called the Small Schools Grant, which will be a loss of about $134,000 for both schools combined. And the other certain outcome of a no vote will be that the state will decide what will happen under Act 46. So when the towns have not approved a merger, it is now up to the state to decide the future and future potential mergers of Ludlow and Mount Holly. So those are kind of the the certainties. Those are the things that we can say will definitely happen with a yes and with a no vote. I just want to spend a few minutes explaining sort of the broader background and the broader context in which this vote is happening, because that has implications as to what might happen in the future as we speculate what might come further down the road. So generally, a problem with education funding in the state of Vermont has been that students have been leaving the state, but education funding has not, or education costs have not gone down with that loss of students. So that means that per student, the education cost is going up as students leave the state. And the state has for many years been looking for ways to rein in those costs. And Act 46 is one of those attempts, is an attempt to merge districts and therefore to save costs with those mergers. That problem of funding really will not go away. So whether we vote yes or whether we vote no, funding will continue to tighten. And that will affect the high school. It will also affect the elementary schools. And that's really, I guess it is a fact. How exactly it will affect the schools, that's more the speculation part. It is true that the state can't close Black River High School, but certainly given the financial constraints and struggles within the education budget in the state, the schools will be squeezed more and more, and as a result may be forced to close because it will become financially unsustainable. It's speculation, but it is a possibility. Just back to the yes vote, as I said, an independent school becomes more likely and more feasible if we vote yes and the kids have school choice in our towns, because education funding will follow the student to an independent school. So the state will pay the average tuition cost to an independent school in Ludlow if there is school choice in the town. We, as Black River Independent, Black River Independent School Committee, have been laying the groundwork for such an independent school should we get a yes vote. We've reached out to various consultants who have founded independent schools in the state of Vermont and looked into all the structural pieces of the puzzle that need to be pulled together in order to start an independent school. Starting an independent school is not a walk in the park. It is pretty challenging. It will take a lot of community involvement. It will take a sort of, can-do attitude and enthusiasm to pull everybody together and make this happen in our community. But we believe that it can be done, and we believe that an independent school in Ludlow could be a great draw to draw new families into this town if it is done right and if the whole community stands behind it. So I think there are certainties out there, and then there's a lot of speculation, and it is kind of up to each voter, it is up to you to inform yourself and weigh the risks and rewards, the pros and cons of both options, and figure out what you believe will work best for you, for your families, and for this community. And Marissa is going to explain a little bit where you can find this information before the vote, which will be on February 6th in the town hall in Ludlow.
We have a few informative meetings that are coming up that we would like to share the dates with. January 29th at 6 p.m. at the Ludlow Town Hall, the Ludlow Elementary School Board will have their informational meeting. And then also the February 1st at 6 p.m. also in the Ludlow Town Hall, there will be a presentation by Tom Martin. And Tom Martin was a retired principal who had been hired by the North Bennington School to help transition an elementary school into an independent school. And there's a presentation of him talking about this transition to the community. And a lot of what he addresses in this clip is the same concerns we're having here in this community. And I've been able to speak to him about it a few times. And he has a lot of really good information, and he's really good at clarifying. So he will be here again. That's February 1st, 6 p.m. at the Ludlow Town Hall. And then we have our Black River Independent Committee school meetings every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. And we currently meet in the Black River High School Middle School Library.
Yeah, and there are, informational documents that you might see around. There's this bright yellow sheet that we've put together, just explaining what the yes and the no vote means, and then there is the
mailer.
Yeah.
Mailer has also come out this past week, I believe.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good information in here. This is from the 706B Study Committee, and they are specifically for the Act 46 merger. They have information on that and how it affects our local communities.
Yeah. And we have contact information for us, so you can contact us. We have a website, blackriveracademy.org, where you can find information. And
we're on Facebook.
We're on Facebook. Yep. And there's information as an email. You can email us. And I know that all the members of the Ludlow Elementary School Board and the Merger Committee, of which Marielle Maringolo is the chair, are also happy to answer any questions, and you can contact them if you need any clarification or have any concerns. And I think that's all we wanted to share.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okemo Valley TV is not responsible for the content of the programming played on its channels. The responsibility is assumed by the producers of each program. Okemo Valley TV, its staff, its board of directors, its underwriters, and sponsors do not exercise editorial control over programming. For more information on public or community access TV in general and Okemo Valley TV specifically, visit www.okemovalley.tv or call 228-8808.